Oh, hi Maria, how are you doing? Oh, hello. Do you have any topics for today that you wanted to discuss? No, I don't have topics today. Not at all? No, we can cut this short. Okay. Okay, bye. Oof. Don't worry if you don't know what to talk about in a one-on-one conversation. In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 different tips that you can use to keep the conversation flowing. Hi, my name is Maria and I'm an engineering manager at a big tech company. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something that a lot of us experience, the dreaded silence in a one-on-one conversation. Don't worry though, because I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tips that always seem to lead to interesting conversations. So stay tuned and let's get started. Why is this important for you? I think there's a common misconception that it's always managers that guide and lead one-on-one meetings with the people that they manage. But I'm going to tell you why I think many people are missing out on using the time that they have with their manager more effectively. By being prepared for the conversation, you actually have the chance to maximize the value of the meeting and make sure you get meaningful answers to your questions. Furthermore, it helps your manager figure out what's actually going on your mind and guide you towards the right direction for your growth. Especially the last tip in this video will help you with targeted questions that you can ask your manager if you don't know where to begin. But before I share the next 5 tips with you, I'd like to kindly ask you to subscribe to this channel. But I'm still an engineer and I know that the algorithm needs engagement from listeners, so thank you for helping me make the algorithm do its job. Tip number 1. Keep a running document to support the one-on-one. In order to make the most out of your time together with your manager, I highly recommend using a shared document that you both contribute to stay up to date with and to share what you've been working on in the past week. This doesn't only make you feel more accountable, because it's going to be awkward if you start a meeting and you haven't added any topics to the document. Especially if you're someone who's a little bit more introverted and struggles to keep the conversation flowing, this will help you to organize your thoughts and help you reflect on critical pieces later on. As a bonus for this video, wait until the end of the video to get access to a free template that I created and also use with my reports that you can use for your own one-on-ones. Tip number 2, come prepared. A one-on-one is time for you. Use it, don't waste it. Your manager should be the number 1 supporter at the organization. They are the ones setting you up with projects, help you when you're blocked, and representing you in performance reviews so you get the promotion or raise you deserve for the work that you did in the past couple of years. If you feel like you don't have a good relationship with your manager, start working on this now. Prioritize preparing and focus on making your manager understand what's going on with you. Let's dive into an example. Say you're working on a large project that suddenly gets delayed. From your perspective, there's probably a reason for the delay, and it's likely not because you suddenly decided to stop working on it. However, if you fail to communicate this the right way, your manager may assume differently. Not because they don't trust you, but because they are working with the information that they have available. It's on you to communicate well and make your manager know why this delay happened. In the template that I'm going to share at the end, I also provided some pointers to questions that you can ask or topics that you can discuss regarding your projects. Tip number 3. Yes, it's the German 3. Give a quick project update, but don't spend too much time on it. Personally, I prefer one-on-one time to be spent on a person's growth and other areas that have little to do with the projects that they work on. We often spend time talking about those in team meetings anyways, and a manager should know what's up with the project of a person, in my opinion. In a one-on-one chat, I try to focus on the basics with their projects, which usually involve a quick status updates and if they're blocked on anything. This is a prime opportunity for you to share if you need to change estimations of the project. For example, if you'll need 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks, or if you need more cross-functional support from other people on your team. Maybe you need your designer to give you an update, but that designer is very busy with other projects. Let your managers know, because this is their job and they can only help you when they know. Tip number 4. Ask for feedback and also provide feedback. Feedback is something that I will cover in a longer video eventually, but I want to dive a little bit into the semantics of how to ask for good feedback. Often I hear the simple, do you have any feedback for me? In my personal career, I don't think I have asked that question in the past 3 to 4 years. Not because I'm not interested in feedback, but because I think this question is just not effective. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm your manager, and in the past 2 weeks, I've heard complaints from the team that our team meeting is just not inclusive. The PM just talks 90% of the time. In the background, I'm starting to work on this as a result of those complaints. And I'd like to ask my team for feedback in one-on-ones. If I go to my team and I just ask them, hey, do you have any feedback for me this week? I'm likely not getting any valuable feedback on the meeting situation, especially because of positivity bias, which means us humans rarely reflect on the positive things that changed, but rather we focus on the negative things that affect our life in negative ways. However, if I ask the same person, hey, in the past 2 weeks, I have been trying to give more people a voice in our team meeting. Have you noticed this? Do you think it was natural or do you think it was forced? If I ask very targeted questions on feedback, I will likely get really valuable responses from my team. To summarize, always try to make the feedback that you actually want easy to answer. And here we go, tip number 5. I'm going to share with you 12 specific questions that you can use for your one-on-one meeting now. So you don't need to write it down. I'm also going to share this in my description below. I personally wouldn't use them every week and just plainly repeat, but rather pick 1 or 2 questions for every meeting and say what conversations it sparks. I'm also going to group those questions in 4 buckets that you can use to balance out the topics for your one-on-ones. Bucket number 1, personal growth. The questions that I like to ask here are, what skills do you think our team is lacking? Who in the company or on the team do you think I can learn from the most? If I could improve 1 skill between this meeting and the next meeting, which would you choose? I really like this bucket because it really focuses on yourself. Because you want to grow, you want to get a promotion, you want to get a good rating, you want to get a raise. Your manager will likely not tell you if you're 100% going for a promotion next cycle because they can't, they're not allowed to. But if you're asking them, hey, what is the gaps that I still have? You most likely will learn way more from this. Second bucket, priorities, strategy, and productivity. Questions I like to ask here. What do you wish I took more ownership over? What's something you wish we did better as a team? What's worrying senior leadership right now? This bucket is great if you're trying to become a senior engineer in a team or a tech lead or even a higher level, because you will understand how your manager thinks and also what's going on your senior leadership's minds and what their problems are. Third bucket is communication. How am I doing with enter specific thing? Do you think I contribute enough in team meetings? Am I giving enough feedback to my peers? Communication is something that a lot of engineers struggle with, me included. I think it was very hard to learn this initially because I didn't know how to communicate well with my partners. So by focusing on that with your manager, they can actually give you feedback on how to improve your communication, where it's at, and what your gaps are right now. Last bucket, and probably most important one, if you care about career growth, is managing up. What are your biggest challenges leading the team? Is there anything I can do more or less of that would help you? What are you most excited about in your day-to-day? I'm telling you, this is one of the most critical pieces for your career growth because it builds a relationship with your manager. And as I said in the intro, having a good relationship with your manager is incredibly important for your career. So if you feel like you need to step up there, use those questions, try to start there, try to build a relationship and try to understand where your manager is coming from. I always try to assume good intent with people in general. Like even if there's someone on my team that's mainly not performing well, I never assume, oh, this is a horrible engineer. That's really bad managing. I always assume, oh, they must have something going on in their life. How can I help them to figure this out? Or, oh, maybe they're not super fulfilled in their role. Maybe I can do something to help them get there. So always assume that your manager actually wants to help you there. To wrap this up, and as promised earlier, I have created a one-on-one document template that I'm going to share with you for free. All you need to do is sign up for my newsletter, which is linked in the description below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.